So I decided to skip the commentary of episode 8, mostly because I got lazy, and I just recorded my reaction. So instead, I'm going to give my final thoughts on the season overall and talk about what we might expect in the next episodic chapter, which should be chapter 4. So first things first, I think it's important to mention how the series is being structured. And it seems like Hasbro is going with the saga approach with storytelling. No major plot points have been concluded in this chapter. In fact, we got more questions than we got answers. Beginning with chapter 1, where it teased Opaline, which we obviously got to see in chapter 2. Then, in the ending of chapter 2, it teased chapter 3 with Izzy fighting that old train cart. And it also teased chapter 4 with Opaline's consumption of dragonfire magic. I am assuming that we're not going to see Opaline in chapter 3 use this dragonfire magic because the ending also did mention that Opaline wants to go after Sunny. I don't think there's going to be room for that in chapter 3, so that's where I'm coming from. This does beg the question, however, what would we see in the ending of chapter 3? What's going to be teased? With this new saga approach, the beginning and ending of chapter 2 don't really have that same starting and concluding feeling we got to see in Friendship is Magic, where the first episode built up a plot that lasted throughout the season and concluded in the final episode. So, episode 8 in chapter 2 didn't really have that same ending feeling because of this new style of storytelling that we are getting. But what are these major plot points that are still up in the air? The first and second major plot point, which we did get to briefly explore in chapter 2, even though it gave us more questions than answers, is what is the origin of the Unity Crystals truly? What is the reason that Twilight created them? What was Opaline's... What was she doing? What was her goal? And what was Twilight trying to prevent her from doing? We did get the message from Twilight, but it did get cutting off. So, this is the way how I see it. We got in 3 different interpretations of what happened. The first one being from Sunny, the second one being from Opaline through Misty, and the second one being from Twilight's message, which was unclear, so it was incomplete. The truth is hidden within these 3 stories, and I want to point out the reason I'm saying Sunny's story is a different interpretation is because it seems like she knows more information than us as the viewers, even though I'm assuming that, or I guess we are, that she knows the same amount as information as the viewers, because she saw the same message from Twilight as we did. Where did she learn this additional information, and why did she fail to mention some of the things Twilight mentioned, like being exposed to the rest of the world, to the dangers? But this is the exciting part. Since this plot point hasn't been concluded, we still have questions. There is opportunity to further know or further explore and learn additional information. The source of this information is the exciting part, and I thought of 4 ways the main 5 and us as the viewers can learn more. The main 5 can learn or meet Discord. The main 5 can explore all the Equestria. Us as the viewers can get a true flashback through Opaline's point of view, or we can get more messages from Twilight or the main 6. I'm sure there are plenty of other ways this can go, but these are the ones I hope to see, and maybe we can get a combination of some of these or maybe all. plot point number 2, and the number 1 major plot point, is the building conflict between Opaline versus the main 5 and her inevitable defeat. Of course, I don't expect this to be resolved anytime soon, but I do like that we have a villain that is present throughout the series and isn't just tossed away in just one season. I think it adds a lot more opportunity for character development and for us as the viewer to get attached to Opaline more as a character. Another plot point, which this implies is, which isn't 100% established, but we are having the first bricks be laid out, is Misty's eventual redemption and disassociation with Opaline. There are, however, more questions as plots that were introduced and laid out in this chapter. 1. Sparky'S origin, which can also explain, if explored, his magic, which we got to see in chapter 2, where his horn started to glow and he started to make the tree glow. The tree itself is also a mystery, when it was created by the main 5 when they combined their magic together. Zip even made a comic about how the flowers look familiar and that she must investigate. This can maybe possibly be tied with the tease we got in episode 6, I believe, where Seashell was reading a book about the Tree of Harmony. Number 3, we have Misty's and Opaline's origin to explore. Why did Opaline save Misty as a filly? What did Misty need saving from? Number 5, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 4, 5. Who cares? Sunny's unexplained alicorn magic, and finally, the lantern's unexplained magic. However, I know that magic doesn't need it to be explained, since it's magic. But I do hope we get to see something. All right, this is where my script ends. I want to mention a few other things that I've sort of noticed and really like. So one of them being the fact that none of the unicorns can't actually use any other spells besides levitation, which I'm assuming is something that comes naturally to them, just as flying is for a Pegasi. And it makes sense. Along with basically the history of Equestria being erased, it makes sense that spells and their knowledge of them existing also being erased. No spell books, no scrolls, nothing to indicate that unicorns can use spells. And of course, the only other pony we got to see use spells was, of course, Opaline, which makes sense because she was around when spells were around. We got to see the classic sort of energy blast where she destroyed Misty's smoothie, and where she destroyed the little ghost rat. I'm assuming that she probably knows how to teleport, but I really do like this idea that unicorns don't possess the knowledge of spells. They don't know any spells, so that's why we don't see spells like teleportation, which was very common in old Equestria. There's absolutely a lot to look forward to. When I finished the series, I think 2 weeks ago now, it's been, I decided to look at Pony Twitter and Brony social media, and I found out that there are 2 chapters that are going to be episodic and that are going to be 15 episodes long. which is fantastic. But it's gonna be tough for me because I still want to do this weekly watching, and I don't want to be spoiled. And unfortunately, I was spoiled by the two basic well, never mind. I was spoiled a few times on some things that I wish I wasn't spoiled on, and along with the two chapters that are going to be episodic, we are going to get two specials. I wonder how I like this. I like this idea of using these specials, these 44-minute specials, as sort of maybe specials, like standalone specials, or as final, like a final episode. So in Friendship is Magic, we have two-parters. We had the two-parters in the beginning and the two-parters in the end, which was nice. But I think I might like this this special format better, because I think it adds a opportunity for a plot to flow a lot better, without having the sort of like break in the middle. We do still have the sort of waiting period, sort of the hype that builds up when waiting for the final, but this one will be better, I think, because I'm assuming in episode 15, if this is the case, in episode 15 we get a tease for the special, and the special is going to act as the ending for the previous chapter. So if chapter 5 is a episodic and chapter 6 is a special, chapter 6 will act as the sort of wrap up of chapter 5, or maybe even like well, it's actually tough because it's a saga format, so this can very well not be the case. But maybe, and I think it would be interesting to see. Oh man, the possibilities are endless still. I think what Hasbro did here, I'm so glad they did not reboot the series. I'm glad that they, oh god, it was perfect. They made the right choice not rebooting Generation 4 and basically recreating, restarting everything using the same characters. This is way better. If comics are any indication of where this is going, or where things are going, it's gonna be crazy. Because watching Generation 5 is a lot better if you're a fan of Generation 4 and 5. Way better. If you're just watching it because you're a Generation 4 fan and you enjoy where they sort of have Generation 4 characters or locations, and that's your favorite part of the show, then I think you're missing out on a lot. And I think those kinds of people are the ones who hate on the show a lot more, because they only want to see Generation 4. They're the Generation 4 fans. They're not My Little Pony fans. But that is not to say that the having like Twilight in episode 2 be a bad thing, because there's this mystery. There's this huge mystery, and the mystery of what happened to Equestria. And it's further amplified when, in my opinion, it feels like Equestria is in a post-apocalyptic sort of state where everything is destroyed, everyone we know is gone or dead, where it seems like Opaline was the villain that came closest to destroying everything, because it seems like everything was destroyed. Magic disappeared. The worst thing that could have ever possibly happened, where all ponies were separated. whether that be Opaline's fault or maybe the effects, or maybe partly. I think it really interesting if we get to see that this was maybe sort of partly Twilight's fault, where magic was at such a state as it was. I don't think it was completely Opaline's fault, but sort of maybe it's tough to explain because this is unscripted. I just don't think that it was completely Opaline's fault that the things became the way the way they were. I think it was a combination. Maybe Twilight messing up. Maybe making the crystals was the best idea. Maybe it was another combination of ponies in general, because they're quite prone to racism, and but I think it just adds a lot more opportunity for very, very interesting plot to develop and world building. I understand that there shouldn't be a complete reliance on Generation 4. That Generation 5 has to find its own identity. It has to create its own world. And the world it has created, I enjoy. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the locations. I enjoy the new things they have to introduce. And the show doesn't need Generation 4 to feel great. I think it's a good show. But then it's a better show when there's a combination of both worlds, where we get to have both things. I mean, for crying out loud, every scene Sunny is in, we get to see the cutie marks of Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, and Twilight. Like, it's always in your face. Of the past, of old Equestria, of Generation 4, of the main 6 characters with 9 years of love behind them, and that just makes things emotional, because they're gone, they're dead. It seems like maybe Twilight's dead, maybe Spike is dead, maybe Discord is dead. But imagine seeing these ponies, or even Flurry Heart, any other alicorn. We are going to see these ponies on screen. I know it. I know we are. It's not the last time we're going to see the main 6. It's not the last time we're going to see Twilight. It's going to be incredible when we see them. And the Generation 5, these new ponies. Part of what made me like the Generation 4, the main 6, and which is also the reason why I forget the episode name. It's my favorite episode is where the main 6 were cleaning up Verity's boutique in Manhattan, and they were doing the interview with the reporter. That was my favorite episode. The best episodes are where all of the main 6 are involved, and they all play off each other, and where they feel like friends. Like, I forget, like, I get so where you get so immersed in their friendship. It feels genuine. It's insane, and I'm getting that same feeling with Generation 5, with the main 5 ponies. The last 4 episodes were in fact my favorite episodes compared to the first 4, because I think they had involved more of the ponies together. They can 100% replicate that same it sounds cheesy, that same magic. And it looks like we're getting there. And even the introduction of these new characters, Misty, opening, incredible, funny, love the dynamic. I love Misty. I love the conflict there. It's serious. Um, it feels like, oh my god, it's a like it's a genuine it's a genuine abusive relationship. It can get dark. Um, I have a feeling we're gonna see a lot more of this of Generations 5's own identity in the next special. It sure does seem like that. Through how different ponies develop their own culture, how Pegasi develop their own Christmas culture, how the unicorns in Bridalwood develop their own Christmas culture. So we're definitely gonna see a lot of that, I think. And this next special, which comes out tomorrow, and as I'm recording this, there's so much to look forward to. I love the mystery. And I can wait. It's definitely a lot to look forward to. Next year is gonna be quite eventful. I don't know why it still feels like the bricks are still being laid out. That's just the feeling I get. So I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Yes. But I think that's it for now. I went off script for about 10 minutes. I want to work on some things. I want to rank all the episodes. Maybe that's gonna take some time, definitely. Because I have to come up with a sort of a metric on how to go about it, how to rank them. I want to create this is another idea I have that's quite ambitious. I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna do this, but it'd be quite a challenge for me. But and I'm not sure if there's gonna be much interest for something like this or for this content. But I want to make a YouTube poop for chapter 2. And I have no idea how I'm going to go about it. I have no editing skills. I can easily get an editing program. I have the money to get whatever I want, and I have a pretty decent computer. That'll be quite ambitious. Again, I'm not sure if there's much interest in something like that. I think there's some kind of market out there. But again, I guess I would probably be doing it more for myself, because I think I have a lot of ideas and want to have an outlet to make that. And while I'm at it, why not just upload, or why not make it a YouTube poop and upload it for others to see. So I'm not sure what else. I just have a lot of plans, but again, I suck at this kind of stuff, and making plans and following up on things and setting goals, and no, it's tough for me. But these, like writing scripts, things like that, I can do. So we'll see what happens. Okay, that was chapter 2. Really good. I like it. Alright, see you later.